Hello, everyone. Texting. Where to start? I think last time I showed off that I built these. Let's go ahead and do a scan of that area that we just showed, because I already had it open. I don't have Blender open at the moment. Let's go ahead and give a quick update with where we were since last time. In this, our scene, still has the Python code embedded into the object, or to this Blender file. What I want to work on tonight is, I've already got this saved off into a separate file as well. And I want to automate sending it from Blender, or from Minecraft into Blender. So I hit run script here. You'll see what we get, our scene, and you notice that there's some different colors involved now. That is new because I've figured out how to add material slots. You can see we've got these 3 material slots that are named the same as the blocks coming out of Minecraft. So that way we can set up different colors in this case. And when we take this into Blender then, you see here there's our object, right? If I find that object in our scene, take us into Unity. I don't think I said Blender a second ago. I meant Unity. So this is our object. There are materials. And on this section here, we can say search and remap. What that will do for us is if I name something per stairs, so let's just take this one, per stairs, because that's the name of the material in Blender. And then we go back to the Blender file. In fact, let's do something else here. So this material, let's make it, I don't know, let's add transparency to it and set the alpha. Where's the alpha at? Metallic is alpha. So set it something like that so it's somewhat see-through. I guess like that. And then on the Blender file, this one here, we hit that button, it will automatically find a material with the same name and apply that material to it instead of using the one that's coming out of Blender. So we now have per stairs that are transparent. Now, obviously this isn't exactly what we want to do long term, right? We wouldn't want it to have it transparent stairs, but I'm just demoing what you can do with this thing. So the fact that I've got different material names set up in Blender is important because then I can add a more better looking material in Unity. Setting the colors in Blender was low importance, but it helps me visually see, that this brown section here is a trapdoor. The blue section is the purple blocks. The yellowish section was, I don't know, whatever that was, the endstone or sandstone blocks. So I can see what the different materials are that's on this, right? Without having to use Blender's navigation over here, go into edit mode, say select all of that, then it shows me all of them, right? So, excuse me, handy to have. Wow, about choked. But the automation part. So what I started on the automation part was I added a configuration handler to the mod. I don't think that this version of Minecraft is currently running is the one with the latest version of the mod that I've coded up. But the idea is this will have 3 settings. One is the path to the Blender executable file. One is the path to where we're going to scan the files to. So when we say /scan file name, that'll be the folder it puts it in. And another one that is the path. Huh. That's messed up. Gotta fix that. The other one is the path to the Python file that we're running inside Blender. And with these 3 pieces of information, I can type scan stairs, and then it will find Blender, run Blender, tell Blender to open up a Python file and pass the arguments to Python, not Blender, of the file name that we just scanned, so that it can process that file. Or at least that's the idea. Okay, so I updated that. Those names should be correct now. What else? I need to use these configurations in my scan. So let's grab those real quick. Yeah, so this is where we're saving it to a file. We're gonna need the path in here, right? So that's our file name probably, right? Yeah, new output stream file name. Where are we calling this at? Call hierarchy. Execute, perfect. So in here is where we need to do it then. We got file name right there. File name right there. Okay, so we're gonna need to pull these down from the config. And I'm just gonna put them in as comments for the moment so that I can get the names of the pieces I need. So we're gonna take that. We're gonna say that plus that. I think it's plus. So our file name will be this plus the file name. Add another slash in there for this concatenation in Java. That one I can't remember. Why doesn't it like it? Insert quote. Oh, double slash. That's what was wrong. So we can escape, basically. Okay, so then we've done that. Then we need to have execute Blender from config settings, calling the Pi script and passing in the file name we just saved as the args to Pi. Okay. So is it system dot what? Thought it'd be system dot something, but apparently not. Java execute a command. Execute a shell command, that's what I want. We're gonna assume Windows for this. Runtime .get runtime .execute. So runtime .get runtime .execute. There we go. And the command is going to be this: reference dot config blender exe path plus we're gonna need a space in there, right? And let me pull my Trello up. I've got the commands that are needed for Blender to take a Python file in my Trello. Daemon depths. This. Okay, so that is the Python piece, but on this particular Stack Exchange, they were passing arguments to the Python. Like this. I don't want to necessarily have to say a Blender file because I don't care about the file. So I'm going to see how Blender handles it without a file name. And then we're going to say Python. Another space. Yep. Then we're going to add in the Python script name, Blender Python file, the path to that, right? Then another plus, and my understanding is Blender will ignore anything that's after a double quote that has, or double dash that has nothing after it, immediately after it. And then whatever's after that becomes arguments to the Python script at that point. So we can then say scan file folder plus / file name, so that we get the full file. And somewhere I've got something not quite right. There we go. Okay, doesn't like it. Cool. Shroud with try catch. Boom. I think that's fine. This line right here might make it so that CurseForge doesn't let me upload. I think they don't let you execute anything. And that's fine. I don't need to upload it there. And it's rightfully so that they do that, right? Let's make sure we've got this set right. We do not. We don't have our scan folder set either. Okay, so we're going to say D drive, all, code, Unity. I don't know the rest of the path. That's the Minecraft version. This is not it either. So let's say here, show and explore. Go into Blender. Okay. And inside that location is where we will save our files, but in a subfolder. And we'll call the subfolder MC2 blend. Okay. And we don't want that extra slash at the end because we got that on the file name. Entries. That one? Yep. Nope. It's this one. Let's create that folder. Okay. And I think in this folder as well, we will store the Python file. Oh, awesome. Just take it this way. And we'll call it mc2blend.py. Save. And in Python, or in Unity here, we need to edit text, save as, find that folder. It's under Blender, mc2blend. Call it blend.py. Okay. Back in here. Make sure I got the case right. There we go. So that should set us up then. Let's give it a test. I'm going to close down Blender because we don't want it running in the background just to confuse me. Let's kick off Minecraft here. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Oh, also as part of this loading mechanic, we don't want you open no more. Well, maybe we will. Part of the loading mechanic, I've added in, it's not to that part yet, where it does... Come on. This. It lists out every block in the registry. And I took that into a spreadsheet on Google Drive. Block to matte color. Make sure it's the right one for I show it on stream, I guess. Yeah. And we've got each of the blocks listed here. So I basically took some spreadsheet code. I've used the spreadsheet to create the code. So basically, Acacia Doors, I set a color. From that color, we do a VLOOKUP on that name over here in this name to color thingy, right? And so orange is going to be a 1 for red, a 5 for 0.5 for green, and apparently a 10 for blue. That's wrong. That should be a 0. That's interesting. But anyway, that value then gets put over to here, and those values are then formatted using some concatenation together to say if the matte name is that, then it returns the values that we entered here. And if we look at our Python one, well, we don't have it open, but the Python script, basically I cut and paste that into there. That's how we do the colors. So it's looking at the block name, essentially. Okay, let's load us up. Let's scan this thing in. Let's get some blocks out here we can place off of. We're scanning. Need something to right click, right? And this will be the bottom one. And we will say scan long path. Enter. And we can see we've got a long path there. That is good. It did do that successfully. Let's check our console though, because I don't see Blender running. Cannot run programs. See programs. Okay. Let's see, that could be the space in the program file name. Let's go command scan. We got this as our path. And we're setting it to program files like that. Now, I wonder if we do that, if that'll allow it to go. Let's go ahead and terminate. Oh, we can't embed double quotes like that. Like that. There we go. So that takes the spaces out of it, basically. Or allows us to pass it with spaces. We'll need to delete the config file then. So it recreates it from that default. So configs. MC to Blender. See, it did set the values in here, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and delete this and run Minecraft again. Okay, come on. We need to scan again, so I'm going to shift right click there. Right click there. Scan. What did we call it before? Long path. We've got a Blender window. Is it just a black screen or gray screen because it's loading in? Because it did take a minute or so to load this big of an area, I think. I probably should set another config option that's enable full automation. True or false type of thing. That way I can say don't run Blender every single time I run a scan kind of thing if I want to. I don't know what it's doing. Task Manager. Blender is not using any CPU. It says it's not responding, which seems to truly not be responding. Do we have another command prompt for it? Does not seem like we do, even though it says console window host. Well, let's close it in the case that it's not actually working correctly. We will try one more time. There we go. Oh, that's amazing. Yes! Now the problem is it loaded a default scene with these objects in it. Not that they're super hard to get rid of, but I don't want them in the scene either. It looks like because they were here, it couldn't work correctly in every case like it should. The scene was kind of assuming it would be empty. Yeah, so these are all not joined together. They're separate objects still. Doable still, though. Don't get me wrong. So let's try this. Let's go over here to the stairs. Right-click. Shift right-click. Stairs. I'm going to close out Blender. Okay. We're going to run that. And what do we get? We get the wrong thing. Now, why is that? What if we do a save as? Where is this being saved at? It's Untitled Blender. Why did it get this instead of the one we saved just now? We did save stairs. Our Java is going to there, not a specific file. Man file folder and file name, which file name is what the user types. Ah, okay. That makes perfect sense. This Python file, we never updated it to use the input from Minecraft, basically, right? So let's go into like a text editor, please. Notepad. Yes. Okay, so we're going to add some additional commands. And here, we need to import sys. And okay, so we're going to find where we put the file name at, which is right there. So at this point in the code, we're now going to try and get the arguments out. Sys.arg. Why does it argv? Arguments try index arg dot index. So we're going to check for the double dash. We're going to add 1 to that index. And then accept value error index equals 0. We'll set it to -1 in our case. And then we'll say arg equals arg index. So we're gonna set the file name, right? Equal to that. Otherwise, we're gonna assume that file name equals that. And we're gonna print no arg found doing default file instead. Okay, let's try that. Close this, close out our Blender file. Go in here, we're gonna type the same command. Should launch Blender. Does. And something didn't work. What didn't work? I have no clue because we don't get the command line. So, can we run a command like this that executes the rest of the commands? So if we did run in Windows and type command or cmd followed by our Blender executable command, which is in Java here under this. So it'd be all of that. Minus the 1/ there. There's an open Blender though. I don't think that it did. I know there's a way to do this. Okay, so cmd minus question mark. Okay, cmd minus h. cmd minus help. cmd/help. There we go. Carries out the command specified in the command string. So we just say that. And then terminates. So /c. So run. And we'll say /c. We're starting up Blender from that command prompt. Blender is now here. Get rid of this one. And the command prompt remains so we can see any console error messages. Okay, so then when we close this, Blender closes. Awesome. So run. And it's just this that we need to append to the front of it. So we can put this like that. That should do it. So save. Let's go ahead and take all of that. Look at our config file. Let's just delete the config file. I don't want to screw with the different parentheses because apparently it's different than what it is in code. So save. We're gonna kill Minecraft. What's this? We can get rid of that. Run this again. Okay, so select that. We're going to scan our stairs again. Click. Shift right click. Scan stairs. Executes Blender. We do not have a command prompt though. Why not? Let's look at the config. I wonder if we need another quote around that then. None of those are errors. Those are where we started scanning. Let's try this. Mod options. I don't think we have the... Yeah, we didn't do the config button. Huh. In the command, can we get all this printed out to a log file, please? So log helper dot info about to execute this. Oh, I can see what all it's trying to run exactly from the command line. Okay. Starting up a second Blender instance. Did not get the command prompt again, which is interesting. About to execute. The whole command looks correct to me. So let's throw this into the run dialog. Run. Whole thing. Executes it from... Really? Okay. Well, at least we can debug it this way, I guess. Arg not doing default file instead. No arg found. Line 558. I don't think we have it open anymore, do we? Which is not there. Line 558, please. So it's not getting the argument then. Could be because of this code is not exactly matching what's showing on the article I was reading. We'll try that instead, but that didn't seem to come up as a valid value before. .arg. But maybe Notepad++ is out of date, or looking at a different version of Python or something. Import sys index. +1. We're setting that to our file name. Let's close all the Blender windows. Go. Let's run that from the run command. Okay, try to work this time. Cool. I guess if we were in this and we go to, what is it, scripting? We don't get any console output. It's really annoying you have to have a console window open to see the output from a Python script. Like, this console down here should show you that stuff. But it's not. Okay, why can't we run command.exe? Oh, wait, do we need to say .exe in it? Also may not be finding it on the path, perhaps? Not sure how this executes exactly. Okay, we want to delete the config again, so it gets updated. Let's go ahead and kill this, run again. I might end up setting up a second command that enables or disables the automation. Maybe default it on and then be able to turn it off with the command line, because there's a good chance I might have a just do it manually still on debugging things. Unless I can get this console window to work. Hey Deltronic, or Deltrick MC. How's it going? Oops. Let's say open this. Shift right click, scan stairs. Let's see what we get. Blender, no command prompt. I'm doing great. Getting this stuff working finally. Let's delete those, and we need to find the extra files, extra objects as well. Actually deleted those this time. Okay, cool. So now we can just do join once we get one active. That's the problem. It's active with another object. So I need to create a blank scene and save that and tell you Blender to open that as well. Okay, so let's do that. So let's delete the object. And files, save as. And we don't want it there. We want it here. Blank.blend. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So my ultimate goal is to be able to create models in Minecraft, export them to Blender, and then import them into Unity to build my own game. Now that sounds bad, but I'm not talking about exporting actual shapes from Minecraft. They're my own shapes. I am using Minecraft basically as a voxel editor, right? So the fact that there is a block here gets imported into Blender. The fact that there's a block here of a specific type gets imported into Blender. I am creating my own stair shape. If I were to scan, say, some of these types of blocks, or the snow or the wall, it's not going to look like a wall or trapdoor or whatever, right? The trapdoor, in fact, is a full block when I scan those in. Not that I'm going to keep them that way. I'm going to create my own version of a thin plane that looks like a trapdoor, right? I won't use it for a trapdoor in my game. So things like that. I'm basically using this as a way to place voxels to make a shape. Okay, so we got this blank file saved. Let's go ahead and get this. We got this path with this name appended to it. Right, exactly. I'll show you. So this is in Unity, the actual game engine. This is something that path that I just showed over here. I scanned this in, ran it through Blender, saved the Blender file, and we get this. And in Unity, it lets you remap texture names, materials from Blender to one that you've already got set up. So if I've got the same name as what the block was originally in Minecraft, because I'm saving that block name as the material, I can texture it how I want in Unity and not just keep the colors. The colors are just a temporary thing for me visually inside Blender, in case I need to edit it at all. Like this particular shape, the way trapdoors work in Minecraft, you know, you can't really put a trapdoor in this corner and have it look right on both sides. So I fully envision me taking this and editing it in Blender to make it a full thing. Like there's, you get the idea. A block up here, like that, right? Without it sticking out. I can fix that in Blender manually. Okay, so in this mod, it's like a lot of extra hoops for me to have to jump through to do this, but I'm having fun at it, so I don't care. So we need to get another group hug. Hey, thank you for the follow. Assuming that's a follow. Yep, thank you for the follow. So I need to add in the name of the file that we're working with, which is this, which is what we're doing. So I want to open this blank Blender file so that we don't have the default cube and everything. There we go. Copy that, paste that like that. There is no extra spaces there, so we should be fine like that. Save that. We're gonna get rid of our config file for the mod. Excuse me. Let's close this. We need to restart, so it picks up the changes to the config. Save, restart. So I'm gonna guess from your name that you like Minecraft. The MC at the end of it, right? If you like modded Minecraft, check out my other mod. TechStack's Heavy Machinery mod. It is very extensive compared to this. Ah, okay. When I created my YouTube account, I had to pick a different name than what I have here, and I've regretted it since. Mainly because I purposely picked a different name, and I shouldn't have. Oh, okay. So you're familiar with it then. Stairs. Let's kill Blender here so I don't see it. I think it's the same one. Do we get a Blender file? Is it blank besides the stairs? Yes! Still no command prompt, which is bothering me, but I'm okay. As long as it gets the file into Blender. And worst case, like the script fails, we open it up manually and we're good to go then. Alright, so I can open up a blank Blender file, open up the Python file, run it, see what the error is. This is working. The only other thing that might make my life easier is in the Python file, tell it to basically do this, right? So move it along the x-axis, I don't know, like -2, -3, 0.5, 2.5, whatever the half of the distance of this thing is, right? 2.5. So it's centered. Probably should center all around. Oh, I could do this. I could take and on the object, center it both ways. Why doesn't it let me type? Oh. Right, because that would put it dead center in the screen then, right? So this is blank.blend. We wouldn't want to save this one. let me try something. I'm going to, in my properties here, thank you, set this to read only, hit OK, and then close this out. And the reason I did that is I don't want to accidentally overwrite this file. And that might work as long as Blender doesn't complain about it being read-only when it opens. So now if I do a file, save, it gives me an error. So I can't overwrite my blank template. So now, I am not sure, other than maybe the centering thing, which I'll work through, I'm not sure what else to do to this. I think I'm ready to start making the game objects for Unity. Let's close this. Let's open this up. Go to the location for this new one, MC2 blend. Gradle W. Have you seen any of my videos for Demon Depths before? That'll answer your question best if you have. No. So, Demon Depths is something we built in Minecraft originally, where it randomly generates a world that is a bunch of modules that we've built. It picks from different types of modules, basically a checkerboard thing. Big bedrock thing. There's a lot of bedrock in the starting area, yeah. It's a dungeon crawler. A procedurally generated dungeon crawler, basically. I'm going to build that in Unity so that I can add a lot more to it. Yeah. That's what that is. So, okay, so now I've got an instance in MultiMC. Close this. Got an instance in MultiMC. If I edit this here, and mod loader, it's this one. I want the instance folder, please. There we go. Go to .minecraft, mods, got this in here, get rid of that one. I'm gonna put this off to the side for a moment and grab our Minecraft mod folder in its builds library. This is the one we just compiled just now. Copy this, paste this into MultiMC folder, run that one now. And I'm gonna go on one of our servers that happens to be on 112 Minecraft. Hey, Nightbot finally did something. Awesome. Welcome to the Discord. Nightbot usually ends up just being an annoyance by the end of the night, so it's finally earned its weight, I guess, or annoyance. I guess I made it for things like that, right? So the other day, couldn't leave him hanging. The other day I did this for a very large area of our server. It was 260,000 block units, right? So when I say block units, I mean even the air. And I scanned this whole castle thing in, and it worked. But it didn't have textures, didn't have stairs rotating right. It was a mess, basically, right? The Python file is much better now, but this area is too big. It took a couple hours for it to put it into Blender. And that's without the textures and everything, so I would hate to see what it does now. But on this server, there's lots of builds that I can go and try and pull, right? Because I've got my scanner wand that I can give myself. It's only client side, but it seems to work. The mod itself is client only. This is a vanilla server that I've gone on to, but you need creative, so you have to give yourself the item. So I could scan that as an example. I don't really want to, because I want something that I actually might use in Demon Depths. The bridge is kind of cool. That's not really useful. That's not useful. My old base isn't useful. Somebody was building a castle here? Right, it's only because I'm in creative. This item doesn't interact with anything on the server. If it did, it would probably crash me. Or act very, very funny. So for example, if I right-clicked there and shift right-clicked, say here, and did scan CC bridge, because CC for Cuttercraft, and it should open Blender. There's our bridge. Now obviously the blocks are funny because I don't have every block shape, but that's it. So you can see the green is the grass blocks, or the what's the word I'm looking for? We'll know in a second. Leaves. And we got our torches, there's brown cubes, the rail, stone slabs, it's all there. Everything's a cube to it because I don't have, you know, a torch shape right now. Don't know I'm going to. But things like stairs and half slabs, I've already got set up. So that's why you're seeing stone slabs. For example, we select all those. They are half shape. This is doing exactly what I wanted. It's kind of scary. I didn't think I'd actually be able to do it. The other benefit is, like, if I had this mod on the version we had for Demon Depths, which is 1.7.10, I could just go scan all the chunks from Demon Depths right into this mod. But I don't have it for that version, so I'm kind of stuck. And I wouldn't want to, because the block names are all different. That in that version they're IDs instead of block names, and blah. Trying to undo all that stuff would be a pain. See, like this would be a cool hallway to scan, right? Like if I can get all the water and everything. So like if I scan from, say, there to, say, shift right click there, scan CC, what's his name? No, Jordan. Oh. Hey man, I only got one side of it. How did I manage that? Okay, let's try that again. Because that should have been both sides of the hallway. Right click there. I bet it failed to load. Shift right click there. Right. That's why I did it. Okay, it's probably processing still, or Blender truly is hung. Oh, that's an old Blender. Let's kill this one. Close. I really wish it was opening the command prompt so we could see the console. And so it scanned further. It had to have gotten an error message. So let's do this. Let's delete everything. We're going to go scripting. And we're going to open this one. And we don't have an argument to pass to it at the moment. So we're going to get to the bottom of it. And paste in the name of the file we're working with here. Wow, I've got that many already. Let's get this. Add slash. Get that. Copy that. Run. And okay. Can't. Whoa. Line 557. Position 11? What? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The D? Oh, it's not right at all. Haha. What in the world? That A is funny. Huh. Let's go all the way back to the original version if it lets me. Yeah, we had D drive there. Go under code. Let's just take from code over. Oh, that's right. It wants extra slashes. Just like, what's the name of it? In Java. But it doesn't want it after this for some reason. I didn't understand that before. Well, whatever. Yeah, okay, so it did create an error. We don't have it open in the freaking console, so we can't see the error still. Okay. Meh. Just copy this. Run. That opens nothing. Okay, run. Apparently this is why our run command isn't working. Because we have an extra slash, for real? That was needed for this to show up. Let's close this. Close this. So we gotta get rid of that, and then there's another one there. We don't need to open the blank file anymore. We do need that. There we go. So file, open recent, the blank file. Go to scripting mode. Open this one. And if we go to the bottom, did it save a path? It did not, okay. So from code on. And it is Jordan Hall. Okay, now we're getting the console output. It's doing something. I don't think it ran this long before. I wonder if run it runs from the command line, if there's some limitation on how long it can run for. There's a hallway. Yeah, I know. It's picky as to where it wanted the double slashes. I would have fully expected it, like you, to be everywhere, but it didn't. I'm trying to get inside this thing. Okay, there is water in there. It's hard to walk through in Blender, right? But it basically worked. The shape of these are kind of funny. Oh, they're torches. Yeah, I need to do something about the shapes of the torches, don't I? They will be in the way for builds like this. Although they're easy enough to select, right? So I just go over here to materials, find torch, go to edit mode, unselect everything, and then select torch. And I don't want them. Gone. Let's do this. Can I, in edit mode, select linked? Oh, that's a pain. Okay, so then I'll technically link. Maybe immediately after D, but still weird is more than once. Yeah, agree. I you know, with this being a colon, maybe it's got some special conditions for file names or something embedded in it, but this, I would expect it to need doubles. And I know it needs doubles in some places because I've had it give me funky errors like it was earlier, so it definitely needs the doubles. But whatever. I mean, as far as that line's concerned, this isn't a path, right? It's just a variable assigning to a string to that variable. It's down here that it needs to be a full path. If I could narrow this down to just the hallway pieces, like the arches and stuff, it'd be pretty nice. Having all this extra crap around it from the actual Minecraft world is kind of junk. So this makes me wonder how useful it is to copy in something from an actual server. Let's go out this way. Like copying those arches would be kind of cool. So I don't have to redo them. On our server here. Ignore Nightbot. It's gonna keep saying that. We've set up a command block to teleport us to a different region from when we had a New World Gen. I don't know if we've got anything out here I necessarily want to copy either. Because it doesn't fit the theme of Demon Depth. It was just a funny way to tie it into my streams, okay? Forgive me. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything I want to grab. The concept's good though, right? It's just we didn't build in that type of feel. Let me go into the nether. There might be one there from me. Let's see, get out of here. A little windy path. So this is my nether base I started building at one point. Yeah, it's not... Maybe for a boss area type thing? Yeah, I tried to build jungle trees and stuff. But I was trying to make this completely spawn proof, and apparently they can spawn here. That's not cool. But I wanted it to be spawn proof because if I ever hit a zombie, like all those are half slabbed up, so you can't, nothing should spawn inside the base in the fortress thing I was building. It's also got fences, so they can't just hop straight in. You said how the other servers are 1.7.10, I think. Does that world not work in higher versions? You have a pretty good point. I could download the world files and open it up, couldn't I? In the new version. I also could just play Demon Depths, let it generate a bunch of the world, so all the random modules are in there, and then start taking sections off of it that way. Download that world. I guess either way it works. Just need to upgrade to a newer version of Minecraft by just opening the file. Thank you. That's pretty handy. Probably not something I can do tonight though, because I'm sure it's like multiple gigabytes to try and download. Side comment, don't make a house on your spawn in Minecraft out of hay bales. At least not in the spawn loaded chunks, because apparently thunderstorms will burn it down. That's the only thing I can think of that happened to this. So anyway, let's get out of there. Let's go single player and let's start build stuff. This is not the world that we were working with before, was it? Let's kill Blender. Now you're airing off? Okay, save. So run this. While this is loading, I want to go ahead and commit this. So this is the Demon Depths 3D. This is the Unity side of the things. The PyMyth Blender file. MC to Blender Python files in here. Let's commit that as its own thing. And let's commit the blank Blender file. Everything else is just extra for me, basically. Blender, MC2 Blender, update. Miss Blender and mats and scans. Okay, and then let's go over to this one, which is the actual mod for Minecraft side of things. Added automation to run Blender after the command saves the file. Scanned file. Oop. Okay, save. So I want to think in sections, right? I don't want to build an actual 64 by 64 area, which is the kind of the chunk size that I'm building for the new game. Oh yeah. The original Demon Depths was 32 by 32. That's gonna make scanning the old stuff a little bit harder. I can scan sections of it still though. Yeah. So we've got this as stairs, already scanned once. This was going to be like a pathway, so let's scan this properly now. So if I right click there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and scan that one. Scan, I want to call it though. Bridge section 8. Save as chunks. This will be, it's not a chunk though, it's a component or a module. Not even a module. What's the word I want to look for? I'm trying to set this up in my mind how it should be structured. Sections. It'll be part of a prefab though. That's the thing. Like I might add some other things. Schematic's not a bad name. I'm gonna try and name them the same too. That way I can find them. hopefully. The nice thing about this is in my GitHub, UNF3, I've got both being saved. So if I ever need to go back and reload it into Blender from the original text file I saved, I can. That way, if later I need to process a bunch of them or whatever, I could probably set a command line tool to do that. So say I actually set up these as a different shape kind of thing. But they're also part of GitHub, so I can go back to old versions and stuff. Okay, so that'll be that one. Then we need one that's going to be like 8 long. So let's see if I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we scan from there, I think it was to here where it said. It'll be this side though. Wow, okay. Right click that, shift right click that, and right click that one. Right clicking on those opens and shuts them, so it's not very easy to scan. So that was a bridge section. We'll call it Z. Bridge Z8. I should open another Blender file. Go. File, save as. From an efficiency standpoint, it would be nice if we could pass Blender the file name we want to save the Blender file as, and in the Python script save that file out and close Blender. So it just creates the Blender file and shuts. Because then it's basically using Blender as a translator to go straight into Unity. I'm pulling these right into Unity. Because if I go over to Unity now, it should just show up. Heck is importing them right now. Sections right there, they are. Boop. Boop. I need a team of master builders now. Master Minecraft builders. Okay, so how long is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at that. It would. I probably need to modify it some more. I just want to get some test out by using actual scans for right now. By that, you know, these trapdoors shouldn't be a full block kind of thing. Intersection. Oops. And let's face it, all that do is click like 3 buttons. Oh, grab those. Okay. So all the linked objects there, delete. All linked objects there, delete those. I didn't want those as part of it, right? Let's save. Boom. Let's build some arches, right? So get some sandstone on my bar. One, two, three, 4. Arch. I am wasting a lot of time doing this, aren't I? Clicking all those buttons. Edit. So that's going to do one more argument, right? Let's see. So Java's taking call hierarchy. It's taking Python, file name for the Python file, then the double dash, and everything after the double dash is the file name that gets sent to Python, right? And where'd my Python file go? That's giving us an index where we're pushing into file name. If I take that, my args, and we say split, my args.split, and we split it on what's something that'd be good to split on, a comma? The hash symbol? Hash symbol might get screwy in the command line though. Tilde? No, tilde's using paths. Let's use comma. You're saying semicolon, but that's used in like D drive and stuff, right? Or C drive. I think comma is probably appropriate. So that was my first thought, right? Because I use it for other things, but I know my scan location has the full D drive, all that in it. So I want to be absolute passive stuff. So we'll look for that, right? And we'll say split args equals that, and split args 0 is the file name. And we got one extra space in there. And then the other piece will be the save file. So save file equals split args 1. Okay. I'm just going to save this like this for now. We're going to also print save file. Oh, dot strip. Oh, that might be dangerous. Nah. Let's just say save file. So in here, what we're saying, the file to run is this. I can't edit this one directly because we're appending the file name that the user types in. So instead, we need another path on our config. So let's do that. Blender save location. And we are going to save to TS Blender sections. Okay. I'm going to take that, put that into our config. Reference dot that equals all of that with this added in, replacing stuff. That and that. path for the MC Blender PY file to save the Blender work to auto save the Blender work for it. Why don't you like that? Really? Did I not save reference? I didn't save reference. Terminate. Okay, that should be all for this. Then we need to pass that to our Blender with, so if we need to append a comma, then that whole path reference dot that whole path Blender save location plus the file name. So I'm going to keep the file name the same. Okay, what don't you like? Okay, that gives us that piece. Then back in the Python file, we're going to process everything and finally close. But then we also need to do whatever the command is to save a file in Blender as a specific name. So if we go to scripting, file, save as, and we do that, save Blender file, and then look at the last command, it doesn't tell us what it did. That menu doesn't work at all in scripting? Really? Yeah, like that. What? Save isn't. Save as. Up by. Never remember that. Save as main file. bpy.ops dot wm save as main file. Okay, and let's search this on Google, because I'm assuming somebody's got a doc out there that says how to pass in the name to it as well. I'm assuming there's some option in this particular command. Save as main file, file path. Seeing if there's anything extra I want to try and touch. It doesn't look like it, just file path. File path is going to be save file. If save file is not equal that, we will do this. So basically it was not blank. I don't know if we need to use the word none there or not. I'm not familiar with Python enough to know. Let's give this a go. Do we even close Blender? We won't go that far. We'll just save it. Close this. Eventually I will want to do that though, I think. Once I'm sure it's all rock solid. I'll probably want to review the files first. For now. So let's get rid of that arch file that we saved. That is not it. Let's get rid of this. We will scan arch again in and see if it appears over here. Oops. It does in the newest Windows update, yeah. It's a dark theme for your whole system. It didn't used to impact Explorer, but now it does. We open Blender. There is Arch. So it saved it, but it didn't give it the .blend extension, which is easy enough to fix. We just need to add the extension here. Plus .blend. And I'm getting tired of typing this all twice, so I'm going to do the smart programmer thing to do, which is because we're using this twice, I'm going to take this total command, shell command, string, and equals that. And we're going to say shell command, and about to execute this. Shell command. That way there's no guessing that these are identical, right? Okay, so now when we run this, let's go ahead and kill this file. Delete it here. Run Arch. And I'll try and open this up, not touching anything. Save the file. Close this, open it back up, make sure it does save it as a Blender file properly. Did. I'm trying to think what else I need to do. Let's go look at Trello real quick, because I think I crossed off so much of it there that I don't know if there's a lot left. I mean, we did add the config file, we set the path in Blender, set the Python, set save, we even, to save scans, we even added converting it into a Blender file, which was something that I didn't even have on here. So this is done. Move that to done. Blender shapes. These are shapes that I wanted to probably implement at some point. That's not going to happen tonight. I also want to take a look and see if it's possible to store these shapes in a separate Blender file altogether. Read that in as a import the file. How do I describe this? So if we fire up Blender real quick. So we've got our blank Blender file, right, that we can start with. But the first thing that the Python script does is it comes down here and says add cube and makes that a full block. Then it adds another cube. Right, I am using Blender models for the object. So the very first thing that the Python script does is it adds a basic cube that we call full cube for any full blocks. Then when it comes to creating a stair, it basically starts doing this, right? So it goes into edit mode and scales it to like 50% height. If my num block was on. And then adds another cube to it. Gets it in the same position. Scales that vertically to 50% height and scales it horizontally to 50%. 50%, not 500%. And then moves it over and moves it down to, so did you get your stair shape, right? That's what it's doing. And then to get the other types of stairs, because believe it or not, there's other pieces for a stair in Minecraft, right? So if we do scale 50% all around, my numlock keeps going off on this. Not sure why. Oh, it does a shape like this to get that kind of stair. And then there's another one that's, come on. All of those types of stairs that are like this, right? So there's one with just one corner. Right. Instead of generating them on the fly, like, I can model these easier than I can write the Python code to do this, right? It's a pain to do this in Python code to visually make it the way I want, because they're very basic right now. There's nothing wrong with that, but let's say we take this whole face. If I go face mode and then just grab it over here to make it look like our stairs, right? This is how the stairs basically are. They're cubes, 100% cubes. Not that that's the end of the world, but what if I wanted to do something like bevel this edge? I'm at a loss for how to do it at the moment in Blender, but I'm sure I could figure it out. So if we grab both of those, do subdivide. There we go. And then like grab this back along the y-axis and grab it along the z-axis of it. Yeah, I can make that a rounded edge. I know it's ugly right now. That's not what I'm worried about. Do something like this. Scale along the Control Shift Alt like this. Nope. But anyway, you get the idea. If I wanted to make my stairs look like that, I could, and it's way easier to do in a separate Blender file. If I could import those objects, it'd make it easier. Yeah, it would allow for a lot more advanced stuff. Definitely not easy to have to write scripts each time for that. Exactly. So I know that there's the file import. No. External data. No. Maybe I have to be out of edit mode. Link, I think it is. You can say, I want to pull from this other Blender file. So let me find one. Oh, it's my D drive. All code Unity Dim Depths 3D assets TS Blender. Yeah, sure. Not that one. This one. Starting area, right? And then once I get to the Blender file, it lets me pick which object within the Blender file, right? So I could just run that a couple times and say, pull all of those in. This plane, link from library. And look, there's our starting area that I originally created for this whole mess when I did it. But that's from a separate Blender file in this Blender file. Because I end up generating 3 or 4 different versions of the stairs and the full cubes and the half slab, using those as references so I can make linked objects, because it's more efficient in Blender to use it as a linked object. Add all them in. Then once they're all added in as linked objects, I delete the originals because I don't want them, right? They're not in a spot that I want to use them. And then I have the geometry I want, and I can join it together as one solid object or whatever. Can this tell me what I just did? Basically, can I do it from Python scripts? No. It looks like anything that's on the menu doesn't show up in here. So if I go link, let's do it again. Nothing. I'm almost guarantee it's a thing that can be scripted though, because right there it is. BPY ops ML MWM link. So it should be. Do we still have that window open? Link. File path, directory, file name, files. That's all stuff for the file browser, though. Are these the paths for this? No, that's for this one. Maybe I can find an example of this. Because that would be so powerful then, because then I could... Yeah. I could create this as my master template for what each individual block looks like. It imports it in, processes the file we save in Minecraft to spawn those blocks in the correct spot. And then say 2 months from now, I decide I want to change the geometry of what the stairs looks like. I go into this one Blender file, do that change, then come up with a batch file that looks at all my saved Minecraft files, and just runs each one over and over and over again. Right, I don't have to edit the script either. I don't save the data in the script, right? I don't save the geometry data in the script, which is very, very useful because once the code's set, it's probably not going to change a lot, but the geometry might change. Oh, yeah. Google. There we go. How do I use that to link to multiple files while still keeping parenting hierarchy order? Okay. I just want to know the format. BBY ops WM link poll. What does the poll thing do? Is that like ask the user for the file name or something? I bet it does. Okay, let's do this via code in the console. So if I paste that in there and do autocomplete, there we go. It's the same as the help file. What happens if I do this? Not a library. What? You even recognized it as autocomplete. File name equals wasn't it like the save as one with an argument, just a file? Right, it's going to be a file, but I want to pull a specific set of objects out of it, not everything that's in there. Okay, so we used what file name? Let's try the path you're talking about. So save as, or link, it is this file. Or, oh, is this it? Because look, it's got the Blender file name and then slash objects. Like it's just increasing the file path. That might work. File name, huh? Let me say plain. And let's go up here, remove it. Unicode escape character can't be Yeah. New. Really? Copy. There we go. Putting it in here so we can edit it. Demon Depths 3D, assets, TS, Blender, chunks, start area, object, plane, run script. Look in the console, which we don't have open. I have more slashes, you're saying? I think I got them all. Yeah, it doesn't need //. Oh, you're saying it wasn't that. You're right. Yeah, still don't like it. So I'm gonna do is change to the C drive, program files, x86, Blender, Foundation, Blender. What? Get Blender in a console window. Okay, so now if we pull this into the new Blender session so we can see what the error message is, it'll be more useful to us. Okay, so scripting. New, this, run script. Okay, of course it tells us more useful now. Unexpected character after line concatenation character. Oh, it didn't paste the whole thing in. Awesome. Let's go file link. Code, Unity, Demon Depths 3D, assets, TS, Blender, chunks, starting area, object, plane. Copied that. Yeah, cancel. Paste the whole path in. Objects. I also don't know if we need the... Well, we need them out there because if it's escaping the characters for whatever reason. Do it like that and bpy.ops.wm.link like that. Between all the code, all and code didn't have a double. Yeah, I don't think... Oh, this one. I'm not sold that that's always going to be the case that it does it that way. Not sure why it's doing it that way. Okay, so now the script failed. And it is saying... Text. What? BPY is not defined. Okay, I thought BPY was always imported. Whatever. Import BPY. We didn't say file name equals. File name equals. You rock, man. So we just need to add a line for each object potentially. I can sort that out later though, because you can just navigate down through the objects in the file. So we could have one that's full cube, stair, blah blah blah, whatever, and it should just work. The only problem I have with it, and it's a big maybe, it's an issue, I don't know, is whether or not these linked objects work with copying the data. So can they share the same mesh data, the material data, etc. with each other, so that I don't have multiple different ones going on. So originally when I started this out, I was just going add mesh cube, right, to create a new primitive cube each time I wanted another block from Minecraft. I quickly found out that is ridiculously slow and gets exponentially slower as you add more blocks, because I guess Blender, when you add a cube, does a scene update after each one, and for each scene update you do, it basically re-renders everything, or looks at everything in memory again. I assign them different materials. So like a block of sandstone would be yellow, and a block of stone would be gray, but they're both sharing the same full cube block as their mesh. Two sandstones would share the same material. Right, they would. And it's just a material slot name that just happens to be a specific color. But I was able to figure out how to get them to share the same... Everything that is sandstone shares the same sandstone. I guess with this method, I truly could make a block that's unique for each individual block. There's nothing stopping me at this point, because I can create a Blender file for each one. The downside to this is the location. Like, I would need to know the full location in the script unless I can use some type of relative paths. So, like, you know, that or that. And then just enforce the location of those Blender files being in the same location as your blank Blender file. Where is blank Blender? It's going to take a lot of retesting doing this, because the script is sensitive, I'll call it, to even something existing that it didn't expect. And it's going to try and delete them later. I don't know if it's going to try and delete them from the linked Blender file or just the scene. I would assume it'd be just the current open file. Okay. So we know this code. I'm going to save this off to a text file just to get it onto disk so I can reuse it somewhere else. Open link object Python example.py. Awesome, just ran that. Save. Actually, let's undo that and get this so we have a fully working copy. There you go. And I think I'm probably going to save that for early morning tomorrow when I normally don't stream, or lunchtime, or after work, or when I do stream again tomorrow. Because it's getting too late for me to keep this going tonight, even though I really want to do this right now. But I got kids and stuff, so I need to get off the bed and get them to bed. So I will catch you guys next time. Deltrick MC, Thanks for hanging out with me and giving me some suggestions. It was awesome. I will catch you next time. Thanks for the follow, by the way.